great to be a part of. So, hey, Jack, how are you? All right, well, and welcome back, Marion. Marion was overseas. You were in Europe, weren't you, Marion? I think you sent me a message on Facebook and you're in Germany or something, or Sweden, or I don't remember. Oh, Europe and the Middle East. Well, very nice. Glad to have you back. Glad you missed the Apex family while you were gone. All right, well, thanks for taking some time out today on your Friday afternoon. And I know we're going into a weekend here, and then we've got 4th of July coming up, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm going to try to get through this as soon as I can and not keep you. But just want to go over a couple of Apex updates and, kind of some updates and new releases and where we are and what's going on. I want to talk to you a little bit about audio alerts on order prints, some Apex updates, what's coming, and some changes to the Apex memberships. You might have seen that posted or got an email or saw it on Facebook about some membership changes. So wanted to go over a few things here. So let's jump right in. First of all, for any of you that might kind of be new to Apex or new to order prints, or, hey, I've heard of order prints and I've seen some guys talking about it and I see it in the room, but I haven't really jumped into it. First of all, you're making a huge mistake and you are completely missing out. If you have not completely 110% jumped into order prints and tried to learn it and master it and watch it all day and all night and market replay it with whatever system or strategy that you're using, you are big time missing out. It is absolutely 110% vital to your trading success. I won't trade without it, and I know a lot of traders now that are using it will not trade without it. So if you haven't jumped into that, if you're on the Apex homepage here, go right here under Elite Education. You can go down any of these tabs, but just the first tab here and right here, Apex Institutional Order Prints Training Course. This is the step-by-step training course. And all of you should have that right there saying 100% completed, okay, that you've gone through the whole course. If you haven't, get on it, even watch it a couple times. Right here at the top, you'll see a link to the forum area for order prints. You can click that and it'll take you right to the forum area. So if you're watching these training videos, you're confused about anything, you have questions on anything, you need clarification on anything, you can go to the forum section where the discussion area is regarding order prints. And there's different categories in here as far as Apex order prints and terms and definitions. Like if you're, oops, let's see here, I'm sorry. Let's see here, yeah, terms and definitions. And you can go through here and there's, you can see different posts that people have put in here about different questions about order prints, or different posts about order prints, or links to other webinars. You can go in here and share your findings, and you can see what other people put in there as well. Right here, it's a great section to go through. If you go to this section and go to the top, it kind of puts it all together for you. Because order prints at first is a beast. Like, it seems very overwhelming. There's so many different aspects of it. All these different things pop up on the chart. What are they? What do they mean? Hey, wait, I forget. What's the difference between the star and the X? And what this really goes through. Lori and I spent, I want to say hours, but it's more like days. But hours and hours on days, literally going through this line by line to piece this together for you, make sure it was clear for you, let you know what, hey, it's a beast, it's overwhelming. Where do I start? Out of all these different aspects of order prints, what are the main things to focus on first and start? And we're going to update this a little bit to add in clusters as well. We're going to talk about clusters a little bit. But this goes through and really simplifies it for you of what is order prints, what are the main things you want to look at, how can you put it together with some other trading systems to help confirm some entries, and go through and show you a lot of examples here. So definitely go through the course and go through the forum sections and really get a grasp of order prints and get moving on it. Okay, once again, it's 110% vital to you to learn order prints and to utilize it in any system you're trading, even if you're not trading an Apex system, okay? Even if you're trading one of your own systems, all right? It does not matter what system you're trading. I mean, if you are trading with Apex and, you know, you're trading the Apex pattern or IZSS or C's or triple C, I mean, any Apex system you're trading, order prints is powerful to help you out, not just knowing when to enter, but knowing when not to enter. And not just with entries, but knowing what is the market doing? When do I need to tighten the stop? When do I need to just exit and take profit? Okay? You know, you might have certain systems where you're trailing your entries and you're trailing your trade, and maybe you have a good size stop, a good size trail. You know, maybe you've got a 20 or 30 tick trailing stop because you want the market to move, but you're getting up to certain levels and you're seeing exhaustion and you're seeing clusters come in. You know, you don't necessarily just sit there and let it go against you 30 pips, right? When you see certain things in order prints and you start to understand them, you know, hey, I'm going to tighten my stop. I'm going to bring this puppy up. Maybe I'm even just going to get out and take profit, or maybe I'm going to take half off now and then move my stop up on the rest. So not only does it help you with when to enter, but it also helps you to lock in those profits. I mean, I think we've all had those days where we've entered a trade and we're up 300 bucks, right? And all of a sudden we're down to 30, right? Or negative something. And order prints can really help with that to know, hey, when to lock in those profits and not give them back. And again, whether you're trading an Apex system or any system you trade, it's really showing you inside the bar the real heartbeat of the market. Okay, so make sure to hop in on that if you have not. Another great thing that you can do is, you know, some of you have already seen these. Some of you were in the room over the last, you know, several weeks back when Daryl was in the room and going through a lot of stuff every day with you. And if you go to the forum and you scroll down here to the bottom where it says watch webinars here, you go right here, what we call THT. That stands for Traders Helping Traders. Okay, and these are the recordings here. Daryl in the elite room, Daryl in the elite room. All right, if you have not gone through and watched these, you definitely want to do that. Daryl goes through and, you know, he covers how he trades IZSS. He shows you his template of IZSS. You know, shows you some updated changes to the IZSS system. Something that's very powerful that every single person on this webinar should watch. Again, whether you trade Apex or any system, is this webinar right here from May 1st. He does cover iZone Sharpshooter, but the 4 steps he takes every day when he reads the market. Kind of the main 4 things that he's looking for to enter a trade. And no matter what system you're trading, those 4 things are very powerful for you to learn and something you need to get a handle on that you can implement into your strategy or system. There's some other great webinars in here about, you know, spreads and a lot of live hedges. I know a lot of you got super excited about some hedges after learning hedges from him. I see you guys doing those all the time now as well. And he does also go through on this particular webinar here and talk about order prints and some different ways to use order prints and, you know, helping you with the direction of the market and what to do at levels. So just some great information there. If you've not dug into this, it should definitely be #1 top priority on your list, especially, you know, right now as we're going into a weekend and a holiday week and, you know, some extra time off. Great opportunity to really dig in and catch up on order prints, learn it, watch it, do some market replay on it, whatever system, you know, or strategy that you're trading. You know, you can do some market replay on it. Okay. Bill asked a question, how do we know when Daryl is in the live room? So much nicer to hear it live than recorded. Bill, Daryl, most of you know Daryl's daughter, Felicity. She is big into rodeoing and her horses and barrel racing. And so right now they are in the middle of like super crazy busy rodeo season. So Daryl has been out on the road. And you know, he was telling me yesterday he finally got back into the Fort Worth area and was running around. He's like, this will be the first time I've seen my house. He's like, I've seen my house like 20 minutes in the last 2 weeks. He's like, this will be the first night I might get to sleep in my bed tonight, maybe, if we make it back. You know, they've got the little RV with them they take everywhere. So he has been on the road. Felicity's doing the World Finals, and it's just craziness. And you know, here though, in a few weeks that should settle back down for him, and he's going to be around a lot more. And I'm going to share a few things with you there, some focuses that him and I have for once he gets back. But once he is back and done with rodeo and Felicity's all done, he'll be around a lot more. He'll be in the room a lot more, and we'll try to get that on a schedule as well, to where we can let you guys know, you know, in the room. I mean, there's some days where he just pops on, you know, and when he pops on, we try to announce that. We put a message in NinjaTrader, we put a message in the scanner, or try to, you know, put a message out on Facebook or wherever, say, hey, Daryl popped in the room, hop in. But as far as some of his scheduled mornings where he's in there with you guys for quite a bit, going over trades, showing you his live trades, answering questions and teaching, we're going to try to get that on a schedule and kind of announce that schedule for the week. Hey, here's our schedule for the week. Daryl will be in, you know, the room Monday, Wednesday, Thursday around these times. Or, hey, tomorrow he'll be in. We're going to try to let you know that. But again, yeah, it is nicer to hear it live, but we definitely do record them as well for any of you that might miss that. Okay? So for those of you that haven't fully gone through all the recordings of what he's covered already, make sure to do that. Okay? That way you can be prepared for when he is hopping back in the room, that you're fully caught up. Okay? Yeah, and Jack says he always gives out alerts in the room when he's on the radio show as well. And we try to put that in the, there are times where he just happens to be available and will pop on the radio show. But we do also, when we know he's going to be on the show, and I've got him, you know, normally I have him scheduled on the show certain days. You know, Tony will get that popped into the calendar as well. Okay, so when you're looking at the calendar and it's like no show, all right, but normally we know a week ahead of time, and we'll pop him in there and you'll know what days he's on the radio as well. But yeah, Jack and other people normally say, hey, you know, they're in the room, they'll be like, hey, Daryl's on the radio, hop on, you know, see what he's talking about. So, so anyway, hop on there and get through order prints if you're brand new to it. Okay, so many of you have already done this week. I know that Lori had Alex push out the most updated toolkit to get you guys audio alerts for order prints. So if you've not done this, go ahead and update your Apex toolkit to the most recent release, which was just a few days ago, earlier this week, and that will now give you audio alerts for order prints. So what do I mean by that? Well, let me just pull over an order prints chart right here. Okay. Now we already know that, you know, for those of you that use order prints, okay, you already have a lot of things you can do to customize order prints. Okay, there's so many different aspects of order prints. There's, you know, momentum, exhaustion, absorption, leading volume, trapped orders, imbalances, you know, net acceleration, cluster, I mean, paw print. I mean, there's so many different things, mini magnets. And, you know, I know for a while, a lot of you were just leaving everything on order prints, just so you can kind of get an idea of, hey, I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to use. You know, in the training we covered about, hey, you know, there's a ton of different, you know, aspects of order prints. Here's the top 4 or 5 you want to start with, okay? And so I know a lot of you are focused on those top 4 or 5, but some of you have left everything on, okay? You know, block orders and divergent blocks or divergent bars and net block, I mean, everything, just because you want to get an idea of, hey, I want to see it all and then filter down what I want to use, okay? And so that is an option for you. When you go into indicators here and you go into order prints, you know, you can come up to the top here, and each different aspect of order prints is broken down into a section: imbalances, zone of interest, and, you know, you've got different filters and strengths in there. You know, you can choose to show them or not. You know, if you don't like certain colors, you can change the colors. You know, just keep in mind, you know, there's colors that are defaulted for each thing. If you don't like a certain color, you can change the color, okay? Or some of you say, hey, I can't stand white background charts, or I can't stand black background charts, or I like my background to be a certain color, and therefore with my background color, the default colors on order prints don't really show up right, or whatever it may be. You can go through and change all those, no problem. You just have to keep in mind that when you're looking at someone else's chart, okay, even Lori and I do this, right? Certain things of Lori's are colored different. You know, or other traders I talk to and we're sharing a chart and they're like, well, see, over here was this cluster and over here was this. I'm like, no, there wasn't. That wasn't on that bar. What are you talking about? Right? Or I'll mess with Lori and I'm like, Lori, are you drinking the special Kansas lemonade again? Are you making stuff up? Are you seeing stuff? But she just has a different color than I have because, you know, she might use something I don't and she wants it to stand out more, or she has a different color of chart. Whatever it may be, you can customize it. You just have to keep in mind that when you're looking at another trader's chart, it might be a little different, all right, because you have changed or customized colors. But you can do that, and you can turn, you know, any aspect of it on or off, okay? Each one is broken down in sections up here. But something that was added in to make it even easier is if you go down here to display options, instead of having to go through each section above, you can just go right here and say, okay, I know what I want and don't want on this chart. I want it all. Great, make them all true. Or hey, I want to get rid of some clutter. I don't use this, this, and this. I'm just going to turn them to false, false, false. All right, you can customize this exactly how you want once you found out the main things that you're looking for your strategy or system, okay? So you can customize all that stuff there. But you now have, if you go down here to alerts, we have added in, and this was just released to everybody earlier this week, most of you are already using it, but there are now audio alerts, okay, which is actually huge, guys. This is super, super huge to have audio alerts on order prints, okay, because you know, you can now monitor multiple different markets without having to watch them so closely, you know, like when if there's certain aspects of order prints that you're looking for, particularly volume clusters, okay? You know, I love volume clusters. I personally will not take a trade without a cluster, okay? The way I trade, well, there's 4 or 5 of my top favorite kind of entries. One of them doesn't require a cluster, but all the other 4 absolutely has to have a cluster. Some of you might have even spoken to Lori lately, who's on that kind of path too. There's got to be a cluster. You know, Daryl talked about that in some of his THTs. You know, not that there has to be a cluster, but when you get a cluster, something's happening in the market. Okay, it's telling you something, or it's telling you that something's about to happen. Maybe it's telling you that, hey, we're about to break out a chop. Maybe it's telling you, hey, we're going to keep on, we just stopped to take a breather and we're going to take off. Or it's telling you, hey, we're reversing. But those clusters, all right, and we're going to put some more education in about clusters so you understand them better. They're powerful, okay? And, you know, again, not every cluster is a trade, okay? Like, okay, yeah, Lori just said, hey, not every cluster is a clade, but every one of my setups must have a cluster, okay? And that's a good point. Thank you, Lori. That doesn't mean that every cluster is going to give you a trade, okay? But for Lori in particular, and me personally, when I trade, doesn't mean that I trade every cluster, but every trade I take has a cluster, okay? The only other one that I take that doesn't require a cluster requires a mini magnet, okay, which are powerful as well. But so it doesn't mean you're going to get a trade on every cluster, but normally every cluster tells you something is happening. You need to be aware of this, okay, or something is about to happen, okay? So me personally, I have volume cluster. You do what works for you. You customize it that works for you. But anybody that has an order prints charts up that does not have audio alert on volume clusters, you're going to have to prove to me that there's a reason for that. Or otherwise, I'm going to tell you you're just wrong and you're making a mistake. I think Lori will back me on that statement. If you don't have audio alerts on clusters on your chart of OP, you're making a mistake. Lori says absolutely, 110%. If you don't use any of these others, that's fine, but you should have that, okay? Mike says, where's the audio alert? Okay, so if you have an order prints chart up, okay, and you right-click on the chart, this is NT7, you pull up your indicators, and down here your indicators, and you click order prints, all right? They're right here, under this section right here, alerts, all right? And you see all these 11 different alerts. All right, we've got ZOIs, mini magnets, total deceleration, that's the bolts, net deceleration, that's the bolts, momentum, which is the stars, okay, absorption, which are the X's, leading volume, which are the blue shades, trapped orders, the yellow, okay. We've got all these main ones here. There are some other aspects of order prints, all right, that we did not put audio alerts on, but these are the main ones here. Okay, so depending on, again, what strategy or system you're trading, what you have found in order prints that works for you, okay, you can put those audio alerts on, all right? Now, if you're not sure yet and you're still figuring out what part of, order prints you want to use and don't use, I'm not going to tell you to go put all these to true because you're just going to go off and off and off and off and off, okay? So, pick and choose which ones you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, at Apex, we very rarely ever tell you, you absolutely have to do this, right? We don't do the follow the guru. We'd like to teach you to think outside the box and learn to trade yourself, but you're just making a mistake if volume cluster audio alert is not on, just plain and simple. You can quote me on that, okay? And you can quote Lori on it too. So, but any of these others that you use, let's say for, just as you see, I think we've got them even defaulted to true, but, or maybe not. Maybe you have to, maybe this is mine here. But all you got to do if you want to turn on the audio alert is just set it to true, okay? You see that right there, Mike? Mike asks, where's the audio alert? It's right there. And you can just turn on which ones you want, okay? Marion, okay, we'll look into that, Marion, and see if we can get tech on it if you're having trouble hearing that one, okay? Let's see here. Aaron says, John, are you running a separate OP chart or added it to your trading chart? Chris says, it's always a joy to hear you explain stuff. Well, I hope that's a compliment then. Thank you, Christopher. Okay, Aaron, you set me up for the next thing I'm going to say here. Aaron asked a good question. He said, John, are you running a separate OP chart or are you adding it to your trading chart? Okay, well, I do a little bit of both, all right? I have a separate OP chart like you see here, okay? And I don't really have much of anything else on it, all right? As you know, the more stuff you add to an OP chart, it kind of squishes everything. I like to have one chart personally that just shows me everything. I want it clean as possible, just OP, all right? But here's the other thing that you can do. Some of you have been trading, for example, the C's star chart, right? Where it's a C's chart, but Lori went in and made the template for you and added in the stars, all right, which is momentum. I know several of you have come up with some nice little trades there. I think, we taught a few trades about, with looking at slings and elevators and Apex E's or Apex P, certain of these C's trades that you're already taking and following the C's rules, but you like those trades even more when you see those set up, with the stars, okay? So I do, Aaron, I have a separate OP chart, but I do use the C star chart as well, so that I also see those stars there. I know that some people have gone in and, you know, played with, you know, adding in a couple of other things like mini magnets, all right, into the C's, or even clusters into the C's. So again, you can do that, all right, because it's completely customizable, all right, not just with the audio alerts, but with what you want to show or not show, all right. So you can add them on, or have a separate one, or do a little bit of both, okay. Jack said there must have been an alert. Yep, that was just a few days ago here, Jack. So, yep, we've got a few more. So, let's say that you're mainly trading the C stars, and you want to have an audio alert on the C stars. All right, well, again, all you got to do is just go into the C star chart and go into Apex Order Prints, which, let's see here, Institution Order Prints, and you can go into, oh, you know what, I got to update that on mine, and then you can turn on the audio alert for momentum. That's what the star is momentum, okay? So everything is completely customizable, all right? And again, helps you to monitor multiple markets, see what's going on. Once again, I definitely 110%. I cannot stress it enough. I know I've repeated it 10 times, and I know I tend to do that a lot, but you got to have the cluster alerts on, okay? I just cannot stress how important that is to you. So anyway, that's the audio alerts. Again, totally customizable. Use it for whatever you're trading. If you don't understand OP and you're lost by some of this, go through the training, go through the forum post, okay, and make sure to get a handle on it. Because like I said, it's extremely helpful in any system, whether it's an Apex or non-Apex system. Helps with entries, exits, tightening stops, taking profits, and especially important at levels. I mean, what's going to happen at that level is the, you know, order prints is so helpful with that. When you get to a level, what's it going to do? Is it going to, you know, break through that level? You know, is it breaking through that level with some good volume and, you know, and clusters, and, you know, what's going to happen? Is it going to hit that level and bounce off that level? That's a big thing in trading, right? I don't care if you're trading deviation levels, I-zone levels, if you're trading support and resistance levels, if you're trading Fibonacci levels. It doesn't matter whether you're trading an Apex level or any level out there, okay? These important, strong levels, we always wonder what's going to happen. What, is it going to go through or bounce, right? That's a huge part. What about you swing traders? Is it going to break this swing level, or is it going to bounce off of it? Order prints is the key to understanding that, no matter what system you trade, Apex or not, okay? So I'm not sitting here trying to, you know, push or sell you on any particular Apex system. Order prints is not a system, okay? I've said this from day one. I've said this in training. Order prints is not a system. Order prints is a roadmap giving you, it's a magnifying glass giving you the insight of what's going on inside that bar. What's going on, not just at that bar, but at that price level in the market. Okay? So it's powerful and helpful with any system out there as an add-on. It tells you, yep, Lori's right. It tells you the story of what's happening. Okay? And that can be helpful in any system, any levels, anything there. All right? So jump in. It's key. It's the most important thing you can learn and focus on right now. Okay? Because it'll help you with anything. So I cannot stress it enough. So I am going to be doing some, just so you know, I'm going to be doing some more training on this over the next few weeks here. I don't know yet if I'm going to just release these as a pre-recorded training course or if I'm going to do live webinars on them or both. But over the next few weeks here, I'm going to do some webinar series The first one is probably going to be about trading clusters, okay, and different ways you can use the clusters, and how you can have your charts open, have the audio alerts on clusters. You hear it go off, you open that chart, you see the cluster. Guys, the nice thing about clusters, okay, like we have audio alerts on a lot of things in Apex, right? Potentially Apex Ease, Trend Catcher. Sometimes though, the market can move so fast, or these alerts can come up so fast by the, if you're monitoring multiple markets, by the time you get that audio alert and you pull up that chart and you start looking, it's just too late, right? The market's moved. I'm sure you've all seen that. The nice thing about clusters is 99% of the time, that cluster bar, basically what a cluster bar is basically saying that the point of control of that bar has X number of times the volume than the last X number of bars, meaning there's a lot of volume going on in that bar compared to the last X number of bars. So normally that bar takes a little longer to happen, okay? So normally when you get a cluster, you've got a little bit of time, all right, I got an alert, let me pull up that chart. Now let me look. Where am I at? What levels am I at? If I'm trading C's, okay, what else is going on C's? Am I at a level? Am I getting any type of other setups? Am I getting, is this a sling, an elevator? Okay, whatever it may be. Tony says audio's coming in and out. Is that happening for just him or for everyone else too? Is audio kind of sketchy? Craig, are we good with you? Okay, most people say it's fine. Okay. All right, cool. So you get those clusters and you can look and see what's going on around you. All right, what levels are I'm at? Is there a setup, on the system over here? What else is going on? And you've normally got a couple minutes there, to figure it out and look and see, is this a trade or not? Then you've got a couple minutes to say, okay, let me look at this little note that I have right in front of me, taped on my computer or taped on my desk or on the wall with the 4 things listed that Daryl Martin said in his THT webinar of the 4 things I look at for a trade. All right, so that's the really nice thing about clusters. You got a few minutes, got an alert, pull up a chart. What's going on? What's the setup? Is everything else lining up? Let me look at these 4 things. Nope, not a trade. Or yeah, if it gets to here, that's a trade. Get ready. Sweet, I'm ready. All right, so that's the beautiful thing about audio alerts and the beautiful thing about clusters. Okay, we're going to do some webinars and videos about using order prints for trading at levels. Like I just said, is it going to break through the level? Is it going to reverse to the level? What do I do at the level? Do I get out? Do I tighten the stop? Do I take part of my profits? And again, this is about any system, not just an Apex system, not just IZSS, not just C's, anything you're trading. Okay, these upcoming educational videos and webinars will be great for you of adding on order prints, because again, order prints is not a system. Order prints is a tool, like Lori just said, shows you what's going on. Okay, it gives you a good picture of what's going on. All right, the story of what's happening. All right, and we'll talk about tightening stops, taking profits. So some upcoming webinars and education over the next few weeks to look out for, and we'll definitely get it out to you. We're going to talk a little bit about some, yeah, Larry, I like that. Larry says it's chart reading on steroids. Exactly. Okay, that's good. That's exactly what it is. Aaron says arguably OP may prove to be the second most important indicator behind deviation levels. Just takes time to learn. I love that, Aaron. That's perfect. That's perfect. Those of you that have really jumped in and mastered it know how powerful it is. Okay, so let's see here. Matt, you're asking about the 9 to 19 box. I don't really use that. I'll talk about that a little bit in the, I don't really use that for my particular trade setups. I'll talk about that a little bit and address that actually in the clusters video I'm going to do most likely next week. Okay. Gene says, is 8-tick a favorite for most markets? Not necessarily, Gene. It just depends on what system you're trading. You know, a lot of people on C's use 10. Some people on C's use 8. But it all depends on what market you're trading as well. Like on ES, I use 6-tick. On everything else, I use 10. On a lot of Forex, I use 6. It all depends on what system you're trading, first of all, and what instrument you're trading. And it can change throughout the time of the year. You know, like on oil, Lori and I both used to use 12 all the time, and then I switched to 10, and then I think she recently switched to 10. You know, it all depends on what the markets are doing. You know, it can be seasonal, and what system or instrument you're trading. Okay. Let's see here. Mike, that's just a preference. There's no right or wrong on that one. It's just the colors. So, all right. So, also going to be talking a little bit about in some of these videos some new trade setups as well, and potential setups that you can do with clusters and with other aspects of order prints. So keep an eye on that. That will be coming out here very, very shortly. Okay. So. What's in the works? What's going on with Apex? Just a couple of quick updates here, and then we'll try to wrap up. You know, NT8, that's a question we get a lot of. NT8 is coming along and has come a long ways just even in the last week and a half here. I want to say a special thanks to our beta team that's testing NT8. They have made some good strides over this last week here, and they've jumped in and, you know, really identified and tested the heck out of certain aspects and some bugs and working them out. You know, our beta team has been doing like these nightly, you know, group calls as well to go over, hey, here's what I found, or here's some thoughts, or why don't we do this, and the programmers are on, and it's been great. They've really stepped up, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. We really need that beta team to step up like that and work as a team. And they are making some great progress there. Okay, I don't have a date to give you of when it will be released, but it's going to be very, very soon. We're coming to the, you know, the I don't want to say the bottom of the 8th inning here, but you know, we're getting into that 8th inning. We're getting towards the end here. We're knocking out some good stuff. It's going to be coming out, you know, pretty soon. But what you have to understand is, I kind of want you to understand the picture here of, you know, kind of the vision over the next couple months. You know, as we get closer to NT8 being done and being ready, you know, and to be able to release it to you guys, we have a lot of back-end work to do, okay? And, I mean, think about all of the, you know, videos and training courses and, you know, all the education about, you know, how to use Ninja and how to open a chart and how to, everything there is NT7, right? So for us to give you NT8, we've got a lot of work to do in the background as well, right? Daryl and I have a lot of training courses to redo, a lot of videos to redo, a lot of everything to redo. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Lori. So we've got a big project on our hands here, right? So bear with us. It's going to be in stages, you know, where we're going to try to release NT8 and kind of give it to you and say, all right, hey, NT8 is done. Here's some real basic information on NT8, all right? And, you know, you can start using it, and then we're going to start slowly redoing everything, all right? We're going to give the website a complete overhaul. I want to say this to you right now. Daryl and I are both aware that the Apex website is a beast, all right? You ever heard the statement is your strength is your weakness, okay? Any of y'all that know me personally or talk to me personally, I say that all the time. Your strength is your weakness. You tell me anyone that you know, I don't even know them. You tell me what their biggest strength is, and I can tell you what their weakness is. You know why? Because it's the same thing. All right, their strength is their weakness. All right, right? Like, you know, someone that's like, oh, they're just the most kind-hearted, sweetest person. They see the best in everyone. They're so trusting. They're just giving and open. That's their strength, right? What's their weakness? That people take advantage of that, and they let people walk on them, right? Well, the strength of our Apex website is there's literally hundreds and hundreds, there's probably thousands now, thousands of hours of free education and free videos. And you could go watch a video on just about any subject you can think of. You can search any subject you can think of, right? That's awesome. That's powerful. That's a strength. What's the weakness? There's too much stuff on your website, and I don't know where to go, and I don't know where to start. What's the strength of Apex? You've got all these different strategies and systems. That's cool. It can, you know, appeal to people that like a certain aspect of trading, or only have a certain size account, or like to trade at night, or like to trade at day, or like certain aspects of trading. That's awesome. You have those options. That's a strength. What's the weakness? Well, I've got 20 systems to choose from. I don't know which one to trade, right? You all know this. I know this. Daryl knows this, okay? That's going to be a very big focus of ours, okay? And, you know, this was something that we've wanted to do for a long time and had it in the works to do for a long time, and something I get, you know, speaking of rodeos and stuff, you know those cattle prods that zap you? Well, I get zaps from certain people, Cameron, and you know, he zapped me again last night for about an hour and a half. Zap, there you go, Cameron. And this is something we want to do, something we have a lot of ideas about and we have all mapped out, but it's got to be in connection with NT8 for it to all work, right? To be able to redo everything properly, give the website a big overhaul, make the flow of everything a lot simpler, make the flow of everything a lot easier, reanalyze some of our strategies and systems that are taught and see if they need to stay or need to go, all right? Narrow down some of our systems, redo, we're going to pretty much redo just about every single training course there is, okay? Because it all needs to change, all needs to update, all needs to go over to NT8. Order prints needs to be added in, okay? It's going to be a whole new Apex and a whole new Apex website. We're going to completely revamp the IZSS training system, and we're going to bring in, we're going to kind of combine a few trainings where we're going to probably rename it. It's probably not going to be called IZSS anymore. It's going to be more like the Master Apex System. Where do I start? You start with the Master Apex System. And in this system, in this course, it's going to be just exactly what Daryl taught in his THTs. You know, and I know some of you are like, man, Daryl's chart has a lot on it. But what does Daryl say? He's like, this is not an IZSS chart anymore. On this chart, I can trade IZSS, right? I can trade you know, Apex Ease, I can trade bad divergence. It's going to all be combined into one big course where you can see, hey, every aspect of everything you need on that one chart, okay? So we've got a lot of stuff in the works, and, you know, it's going to be a lot of work for us. We've brought on some extra help. We've, you know, got programmers, new programmers. There's some really great stuff in the works. There's going to be some scanner changes and additions, a couple new indicators coming out, some new strategies and systems. There's so much stuff in the works, guys, and I just want to give you a quick update on that. I mean, at Apex, we're always improving. We're always developing. We're always coming at you with new things. We don't just hand you a business in a box, trading in a box, and say, here you go, you're on your own. We're always improving the tools and coming up with new tools and things to help you see inside the bar and outside the bar and think outside the box and look at the overall pictures. You know, you've got great leaders in the room, you've got tons of people helping in the forum. You know, we've got the NT8 stuff coming out. Again, huge thanks to our beta team there. you know, always new and ongoing education, and so on. Okay, and you know, and as we grow and as we release these new things, you know, I mean, from 5 years ago, the size of Apex has grown tenfold. The staff at Apex has grown tenfold. Um, you know, but our pricing has stayed the same even through all this, right? And all these extra things. And as we grow and release new things and we bring on more programmers and more overhead and redo everything and more data feeds and servers and technology, you know, and we're providing a lot more value to the Apex members as well, okay? And so don't miss out on some of this stuff that's coming out. Don't miss out on some of the webinars, education coming out over the next few weeks, and you know, some of the new overhauls to the site and the training course. Okay. Also, don't miss out on this. This is the other thing that I want to wrap up with. Jack says, yeah, in the early days, you're right, Jack. A few years back, pretty much all Apex was the Apex pattern system, the APEX. And then there was a few little binary, you know, strategies. That's it. Apex has come so far and has grown so much, and you know, we've done everything we can to, you know, keep our prices where they are, but provide more and more value all the time and growing. Okay, but some changes coming up here in the Apex memberships.